The movie is called 80 for Brady. Sally Field, Rita Moreno, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin. True story, based on a true story about four women in their 80s who go cross-country to watch the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. And, of course, Brady makes a cameo appearance there. Gronk is in there. Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, and Sally Field, of course, a two-time Academy Award winner. And I had a chance to talk to her yesterday about the movie. And I asked her how familiar she was with Tom Brady's accomplishments when she started the movie.
Pretty aware of them. I can't say I'd seen every single solitary game, but I raised three sons, so football has always been in my life. And then it became, when they left and all grew up, it kind of stuck with me as what I do. So I was very aware of his astonishing achievements. Yeah.
How does the script get to you, and then what's your reaction?
Well, it got to me from my friend Jane Fonda. She and I had been trying to work together many times over the years, and it just was never a story that quite, blew my skirts up, as they say. And I liked this one a lot because it's about older women and sports. It isn't about older women looking for a new husband or what about their kids or, getting their marriages to work better. Or it really is about friendship and how much these women love sports. And I'm an older woman, and I love sports.
Well, I wondered if it was more of a sports movie or was it more of a girls' road trip movie?
It's kind of both, but I wouldn't call it a normal sort of girls' road trip movie. It's very fanciful. It has a kind of a superhero kind of feel to it in places. It's in a lot of in the whole big theme of things, it's kind of about the magic of sports and caring about something like that when you can get so involved in it, it takes you outside of your own problems, onto the football field.
Your reaction when you woke up to the news that Tom Brady was retiring was what?
I had many feelings. First of all, I think I feel glad because I watched him all this season, and sometimes he was Tom again, and you just were shaking your head like, how is that possible? And then also, I don't want him to get hurt. I feel like, wait a minute, it's my boy. I just didn't want him to get crushed and crumbled into a bazillion pieces. Not that he would, because the Lord knows he has been run down by those big, huge 300-pound guys before. I just didn't want to see him get hurt at this point. That's one. And two, I wanted him to go out in the way that he wanted to go out. And I know that doesn't always happen. You don't always get to paint the picture you want to see, but sometimes the picture you're handed is a better picture. It just takes a little while to stand back and go, oh, I see. That's even better than I could have conceived of. And third, it kind of, in a little bit of a way, I wonder how it affects the movie, and that's like way down on my chart of things. He was there with us last night on the red carpet, and he just looked like he was enjoying how much everybody loves him. They so appreciate this man's extraordinary accomplishments, and excellence is excellence over any spectrum.
But were the women more nervous meeting him, or was he more nervous trying to be an actor and, keeping up with you guys?
I really can't answer for him. I think some of the ladies were saying they were very nervous meeting him. I wasn't. I was the one that went out. I stood in the street as their cars were driving up, all four of them, Gronk and Danny and all four. I can't even remember who was the fourth one, but and I because I knew that they were walking in onto our arena, and I know that if I were walking onto their arena, I would be a wreck. Somebody would have had to give me a stiff drink or something. And so I stood out there and waited for them all to come, and all of the motorhomes were in a little bit of a little bit of a compound circle thing, and I welcomed them and said, "Could I get you a cup of coffee? And here's where I am. This is where you guys are, and I'm so glad you're here. And let's take and they wanted let's take pictures, and I was glad I did that. So I certainly wasn't nervous at all. And I don't know what they were feeling. I think they were excited. They sure as heck didn't look nervous. Not for one moment. Not for 1 second did Tom look nervous doing his scenes or being with all of us. And I have a little scene with Danny, and he didn't seem it at all. But you know what? Being on the field, doing what they do, is certainly very different than acting. I mean, we get take two, and they don't. But if you're on stage in Broadway, you don't get take two either. And as an actor, you learn where to put the enormous amount of adrenaline that's shooting through your body. If they would take my blood pressure right before opening night, I'm sure I would be hospitalized because it's off the charts. And you learn how to maneuver through that kind of what your body does when it's saying, alert, alert, dive, awooga, harm is coming at you. But I think that they know how to do that. I think they know where to put that kind of stress.
Yeah, they can compartmentalize. So Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski. We're talking to Sally.
Like Julian. Oh, God, that was the one. I loved him. It was all of a sudden Julian's name went out of my head. Julian, yeah, and Danny and Gronk and I sat and eavesdropped on their conversation at lunch. I sat on the edge. We had a little umbrella table that they sat at, and I was sort of sitting on the edge. I had my little dog. I was walking around, and it was great because they were reminiscing this game that they all played in, that the whole film was sort of built around, this Super Bowl. And if to me that was like listening to, Katharine Hepburn talking to Betty Davis, about that night it was so fun and amazing to hear these extraordinary athletes talking about that one time and those things, and laughing and Tom trying to talk Danny into coming back, and that.
But
was
would you do that too,
to
Sally? If you got together with Tom Hanks, would you talk about Forrest Gump, or would you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd
absolutely.
reminisce. Yeah.
And we would do that, especially because there's enough time since Forrest that we would talk. You remember that time when I saw you at the coffee shop and you were and we went, and then yes, and that's what I mean. It was like eavesdropping on something that seemed so not really run of the mill because it was a special game, but they've put that in their whole long list of achievements. Would be like us talking about, Tom and I talking about the two films that we had done together. Remember the first time we met? Remember that thing? And if they were listening, they would think, wow. But as I listened to them, I realized it was just another thing in a way.
Did I heard Jane Fonda flirted a little bit?
Oh, Jane Fonda's always flirting.
But not you.
No, not me. I'm not. I'm just really sort of not that kind of a flirt. I mean, I probably flirt without knowing I'm flirting. I mean, maybe someone could say because I was out there offering them a cup of coffee, they could have said that was flirting. It didn't feel like flirting. Honestly, I added this to my character because she says this. I really don't know what is flirting. I'm really not sure what it is because I kind of got, ripped off the streets from my high school practically and thrown into, being a celebrity that I don't know that I really know what flirting is.
What do people say to you on the street? What do they bring up? Movie role or a line from a movie? Is there one in particular?
No, there's not really one in particular. Over the years, or especially recently, I just sort of shake my head of all the people who mention the flying nun, and I think, how do you even know about it? I mean, the people that are saying that are like in their early 30s. I think,
Oh, wow.
that was in 1967. How can you even know that existed? So I don't know. Then somebody said, well, it's on these various, places, where they show old television stuff. I have no idea. But then a lot of people say other things, notice something more recent or Forrest or Mrs. Doubtfire or Steel Magnolias gets mentioned a lot with, drink your juice, Shelby.
I didn't know what love was back in the mid 60s, but I had a crush on you as the flying nun. So you might. I think Julie Andrews was my first crush, Sally, but you might have been second. You might have been second. I think the Sound of Music. She got me there. I was young, but
yeah, she got me there too.
But I was available. She didn't know that. I guess with Tom now retired, is there a sequel?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. If there is, they better hurry up. I have to say.
Well, it's great to talk to you. Congratulations on this. And
Thank you.
I know the timing, you didn't plan on it, but, with Tom retiring and now this movie coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get a lot of great responses from it. But thank you again for joining us.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Sally Field. Hey, I took my shot.
Took a shot.
Yeah.
I respect that. That was
I let
great.
her know I had a crush on her.